All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Living the Dream podcast. Today on the show, we have Joseph Lalonde, who is the author of Real Leadership. Joseph, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show today. I'm excited to talk with you and share a little bit about myself and living the dream.
There we go. Well, I'm happy to jump in, man. Let's go ahead and get to it. If you could start with telling us a little bit more about yourself and what you like to do for fun, that'd be great.
All right. So there's a lot of things I like to do for fun. I know you introduced my book as Real Leadership. Something you didn't do is say how that real is spelled. It's spelled REEL, as in a movie reel. So something I really enjoy, going to the movies, learning from movies, seeing entertainment. I love that stuff. That's like the major thing I do, but there's a couple other things. I told you earlier I have my dogs with me, so I run with him a lot. I just finished a half marathon, or no, a 25K, which is 15 and a half miles. That was this past Sunday or Saturday. Tore me up, but it's
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun when you're actually in the groove. I collect comic book artwork, and I do ice climbing.
that is a wide array of hobbies.
I know. I like to say I'm a man of many hobbies, many interests.
I gotcha. So, which one have you been doing the longest? The comic book artwork, the ice climbing, the jogging, or the movies and entertainment?
It's probably a tie between the ice climbing and the running.
I gotcha.
Uh, you know, I walked it. So the ice climbing happened because I walked into a local outdoor sporting goods store, and they had this old janky VHS um, video of them ice climbing. And I looked at my wife and I'm like, I've got to do that.
I
And
see.
she was like, yes, you do. But the running that actually came, probably right around the same time. So I can't say which one, but those are probably my two longest running recreation hobby activities.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Now tell us a little bit more about what you do. Why write the book Real Leadership? What does your day to day look like? All that good stuff.
All right. So I wrote the book Real Leadership because when I got into the whole personal development, self improvement world, I heard something that like discouraged me, but I bought it hook, line, and sinker, and it was entertainment's bad for you.
Mm,
And I don't know if you've heard that, but there were so many people saying the most successful people don't watch movies. What they do instead is they watch conference videos, they listen to inspirational content, just like this podcast, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I discovered in my journey that it was Chip and Dan Heath in their book Made to Stick. They started talking about how stories stick and stats don't. I'm like, you know what? Movies are great stories that are trying to teach us something.
yeah.
So that's where that all came from was, when my mind flipped that switch and went, why did I get rid of all this stuff that I really enjoy that brings enjoyment to me and it adds value?
Yeah. No, I got you. I very similar. I'm into self improvement, hence the podcast, of course. But yeah, I dropped doing a lot of fun things, and then I started making space in my life again for fun stuff. Cause I was like, here's the thing. I know everybody on Instagram and social media is talking about working 16 hours a day. And if you really are, kudos to you. And you probably find it fun because very few people can work 16 hours a day consistently for this stint of their life and not have like a break from it and maintain it. I'm sure there are some people out there who can, but it's not the majority of us.
Right. Well, and if they don't, they begin to break down.
Yeah,
And I've seen that happen. I've seen marriages dissolve because of these 16-hour days, relationships destroyed. And it's like, it's so sad. It's like, because they're so focused on that one aspect, everything else in their life gets shoved to the back.
yeah,
And, while we can't really have a fully balanced life, we can have a more balanced life.
yeah, for sure. And, I think the more you get into like success, when you're actually trying to hit goals, if you're really working 16 hours a day and you're doing it alone, maybe it's time to, and you've seen some success, maybe it's time to invest in some help, hire some people, learn to outsource, learn those skills that allow you to run a successful business and, you know, have a loving family. Now, of course, everybody has their grind time. right? Like when you're starting up, maybe you have some 16-hour days, and just make sure you communicate that with the people you love, but don't make it a habit. Don't make it.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So is that why you wrote Real Leadership, to help people who are in the self-improvement space get back to having fun and succeeding, or is there more to the book?
Yeah, so that was pretty much the reason. It was as I got back into the movies, back into some enjoying entertainment again. I started realizing that the screenwriters and the directors were creating these movies with a reason and a message behind them.
Mm.
In the book, I actually interviewed um, multiple people, and I can't think of his name. John Williams. He wrote a book, and it's called The Moral Premise, and it talks how behind every movie there is a story arc that the director or the writer wants you to understand.
Yeah.
And my reasoning behind writing Real Leadership was to help people understand that they can watch a movie and pull these important lessons out.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you realize that there's this lesson, there's this reason behind every story and behind every movie. And so Real Leadership is a big part of the book. Is this the main part of the book? Having people watch movies and then pull these lessons out?
Yeah, so in the book, I talk with various leaders. John Ramstead, who is a personal development leadership coach, he was actually a Navy Top Gun pilot
Oh,
that had a major devastating injury. He was hit. He had a couple of injuries. He was hit in the eye with a baseball and went blind in an eye. And then he was riding a horse and almost died when the horse, I believe, knocked him into a fence. Um, but
wow.
talking to guys like that, and like they shared their stories of how they've watched movies and how it impacted them. So I took their stories, shared it in the book, as well as like my experience. And then the final chapters, I delve into how you can actually watch movies and pull out these lessons.
I see. Okay, you got to tell me a little bit more about that, because I'm a little curious now. How you can watch movies and pull out these lessons? Is it a certain technique? Do you just go in with pretext, knowing what you're watching for? What does that look like?
I think you have to go in with intention.
Hmm.
Um, if you go in going, okay, what can I get out of this movie? You'll start seeing new and unique ideas presented to you. Once you cultivate it, you also start seeing in other aspects of your life, whether it's other forms of entertainment, like you're reading a comic book or fiction novels, you start pulling it out. But yeah, it's going in with a eye that's looking for something. Um, just as an example, I'll use. Have you ever seen the movie The Greatest Showman?
Yeah.
Take a look at Hugh Jackman's character, P.T. Barnum. If you watch the arc, it's this story of great success, great bravado, but through all of it, the way he treated people and the way he did business, he lost integrity and then he lost himself. The the circus burnt down, he lost his family walked away from him, and all because of how he's treating people. But then that arc comes full circle when he realizes that he's screwed up and starts to change his life. He regains his family. The circus performers come back and help him um, rebuild the circus. And it's this whole, as long as you're watching for things, you'll notice them.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
If,
because
if that makes sense.
I definitely didn't take that from The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's really like the moral premise behind the movie is, you know, he has this, you know, going up arc. He crashes and burns because of how he treated people, and then once he realizes it, he comes on out of it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You know, what's funny, when I was watching The Greatest Showman, I noticed his entrepreneurial tendencies, like how he would market the circus and stuff, just because
Yep.
that's the mind frame I was in. But it goes to show, when you go into a movie with a certain intention, and specifically to learn those moral lessons, it does work. You know, you will find what you're looking for.
Yep. And I mean, I think every movie carries multiple lessons as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you took away the entrepreneurial side. I so every Monday too on my blog I write leadership lessons from a specific movie, and I go through and I'll typically have 10 to 15 lessons. So there are multiple things that you can take away as long as you're watching for them.
Yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. Well, tell us a bit more about. Well, I guess we got your motivation, so let's just go ahead and jump into dreams and goals, man. What's your vision for the book and your life?
You know, there's a couple of things I want to do. I want to inspire others to not only be a great leader, but to raise up new leaders.
Hmm.
Because we only have a limited amount of time on this world before we pass away. So if we can pass on our knowledge and our ideas and our concepts to the next generation and the generation beyond that, that's something I want to do. And then along with the book, I want to help people understand that entertainment isn't the villain it's made out to be. That there's actually redeeming and positive content in things that we enjoy and partake in.
I gotcha. So help people understand that entertainment isn't the villain, and inspire others to be a great leader and create new leaders.
Yes, sir.
How many leaders do you want to make? How many people do you want to inspire to be a great leader?
100,000.
100,000. There we go. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. And then
Go big or go home, right?
Oh, absolutely. Inspire 100,000 people to be great leaders and create new leaders. So how many new leaders does each of the 100,000 that you make need to go on to make?
Yeah, that's the crazy part when you start thinking about, if I inspire 100,000 leaders and they start inspiring others, you know, I would love for every, even going small, saying every leader inspires 10 people in their circle. I mean, that's a million people that's
Yeah,
impacted right there. But let's go big. Let's go 1,000 people, because leaders leaders interact with a bunch of different people, whether it's other organizations, the team members that they're interacting with, their family members. So let's go 1,000 people. That's 100,000, or no?
100 million.
Yes. My math is bad today.
There we go. So inspire 100,000 people to be great leaders and have each of them create 1,000 people in their circle that are great leaders to impact a total of 100 million people.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And then for like helping people understand that entertainment isn't the villain that it's made out to be, do you want to do that just through this book and get this book really big to reach a big number of people, or do you have other uh, visions and dreams and goals for that?
So there's other visions for that as well. I want the book to succeed. Um, but there's other ways that I'm doing that. I'm doing coaching where I'm helping share with other leaders how they can use these movies to inspire their people,
Yeah.
because a lot of people watch movies but they just go for the entertainment. And if the leaders of these organizations could latch on to the fact that these movies are being watched by the people that they're leading, and that they could use these movies to inspire those workers to do more, I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
No, for sure.
how many leaders do you meet that go like, I just can't inspire or motivate my people? It's because we're not speaking their language.
Yeah.
We're using these, let's say, highfalutin words that, KPIs and um, metrics, and the average worker, I think, doesn't understand those words. But if you can say, hey, remember in Guardians of the Galaxy when um, the Guardians ships all came, they were in a armada of ships, and then they aligned perfectly and they erected this shield that protected them. They can understand that
Yeah.
because they've seen it, and it helps them get their message across.
Yeah. No, I feel that. That makes a lot of sense. Do you feel like employees would feel like children if they were talked to like that? I feel
I
like I
don't
could
think.
see some people being,
I mean, I think it depends on how you're talking to your employees.
yeah,
If you're trying to be like, yeah, I have to relate to you using this movie because I think you're dumb. I mean, I know leaders that would say that, but rather go, hey guys, this is the movie I just watched, and here's something I saw in it, and I think we can apply this lesson here to our organization because we're not aligned properly. We're struggling to find our alignment to move forward with power. But like, here's what happens when we do. When we get in alignment, there's power and we're a force to be reckoned with.
yeah,
It's just it's speaking the right language, using the right tools or examples.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Well, there we go. Any other dreams or goals that you want to chat about before we move on?
I think that's good.
Well, cool, man. What are the top 1 to 2 skills that you need to develop right now to make these 3 dreams and goals come true?
um, honestly, I think I need to develop some marketing skills because my
Okay,
marketing skills are not the best.
I gotcha.
And another skill, you know, a skill that I've been working on is actually my public speaking
Hmm.
because I know a lot of people are scared of public speaking. Me, I was absolutely terrified of it.
Yeah,
But the more I've worked on it, the better I've gotten, the more comfortable I'm in front of a crowd speaking and sharing these lessons and ideas.
yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. And so, marketing skills and public speaking skills.
Yes.
So, when we're talking marketing, um, do you have a marketing budget? Are you talking about organic social media marketing? Which side are you talking? Branding?
A little bit of both. I haven't done any paid marketing really for the website, for the blog, for the book. And the ones that I have done, I've struggled to make it actually work
Hmm.
because I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I've run some Amazon ads and I'm like, am I doing this right?
yeah,
And I think a lot of us do that. We don't know exactly what we're doing. So we just go out there and we start plugging away at it. We hope something sticks, or we go out there and find that expert that will teach us how to do it.
yeah,
Um, and with the marketing side of things, for the marketing of the book through like Google ads, Amazon ads, I actually sought out an expert, Brian Cohen, who's one of Amazon's top oh like Amazon ad teachers.
yeah. I gotcha. Brian Cohen. I feel like I know his name for some reason, but I can't put a face to it.
He was on Jeopardy. I don't know
Ah,
if you're a Jeopardy fan, but he was a Jeopardy contestant.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
But
Brian
I don't know
Cohen.
if that might be where the name came from, but
Now I feel like I
yeah,
know him
he's
more.
killing it in the Amazon ad sphere.
Yeah, it says he has a podcast, hosting the progressive podcast. No lie. Hmm. I'm not sure. Regardless, um, yeah, man. So marketing skills, Amazon ads is what you're running right now, and that's just to sell more of the book, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Trying to get that marketed, finding out how to do that well.
Have
I
you?
need to move on to like Facebook ads,
Uh-huh.
things like that to help market and get not only get my book out there, but get myself out there. I mean,
Yeah.
I I've been fairly successful, but I want to take it to that next level.
Have you heard of Alex Hormozy?
I have not.
Ooh, this is good. You've got to go check this man out, Alex Hormozy. He has one book. It's called $100 Million Offers, and he's about to write another book called $100 Million Leads. And he's a boss, but he came up with this concept called customer financed acquisition. And really, it's just how business works. But I think a lot of people neglect this fact in their business when they're thinking about their pricing strategy. For example, how much do you sell your book for on Amazon?
$18,
$18. Yeah. And then what? Amazon takes like 20% of it or something.
something like that.
Yeah. So you're probably netting like, I don't know, 14, $13 or something like that from each book sale.
Right, nothing big.
Yeah. Nothing big, nothing big. And then if you were to throw that $13 back into marketing, would you guaranteed get another sale?
Probably.
I feel that. I feel that. Would you, um, that's really what the concept is, the customer financed acquisition. He's like, price your product such that you are making enough money from one customer to pay for your next customer and have profit. And
Okay.
so he's like, get really solid on your cost to acquire the customer and get really solid on your cost to fulfill the customer, which for you with the book, it would be $0 because you've written the book and Amazon's doing all that stuff. But once you add the cost to acquire the customer and the cost to fulfill the customer, so let's say you can get somebody to buy your book for $7, you know, and then it costs you $2 to fulfill them. So you're $9 total. He would say multiply that number by three, and that's how much you need to be charging for the book, right? Because at that point, you could acquire a customer for $9 and you're charging $27, so you have $18 left over. That's $9 for your next customer and $9 in profit. And so he's like, run your model like that. And he's specifically talking to people in the internet marketing space. Uh, my bad. He's not specifically talking to those people. He's specifically talking to all business owners, but he kind of came out of the internet marketing space a little bit. I don't want to do his story wrong. He's a beast of an entrepreneur across the board. Regardless, um, run that customer finance acquisition model in your head for anything you're selling, both you and the audience and myself. In fact, I have an offer that I'm about to put out for a virtual summit, and I don't have a clear customer acquisition cost yet, which is why it's a little murky. But I don't know if it's priced high enough. I don't know if it's priced well enough for me to actually acquire customers at profit, if that makes sense, which is just bad business finance. And so I
How many
guess
businesses are run that way though? We don't know how much we're paying to acquire customers.
exactly no, like so many are just like you don't know. And if you don't know, you can't make that equation. And if you can't make that equation, well, you're just kind of whatever happens.
We're going, oh my God, yeah, I think I'm making money, but maybe not.
Exactly, which is why the numbers is really important, which is why to start, you're going to have to throw some money into the marketing void to figure out how much it costs you to acquire a customer. And then once you get back that maybe it costs you $200 to get somebody to buy your book, it's like, okay, how do I package enough value to charge somebody $200 to acquire and then $5 to fulfill? How do I package enough value to charge them $615 so I can acquire them? And the only thing stopping me is having enough employees to fulfill them. Basically, that's the only linchpin right there. But yeah, Alex Hormozy talks a lot about that concept. He talks about in his book, but he also has some YouTube videos that are really big, like an hour and a half of just him talking marketing. And just for reference, he scaled a business from probably 0 to 1 million a month, like within a year or two, I think, using this model because he learned it. And when he learned it, he got really good at marketing using ads and positioning an offer and picking a target market. All those are very necessary skills. I'm not saying it was just a walk in the park for him, but he did it and he can repeat it. And now he buys into companies and does the same thing for them and just takes equity in their company, minority ownership. And now he's worth I think his portfolio does 160 million a year, maybe 200 million a year in revenue. And he's just all with this concept of like customer financed acquisition and then measuring customer success. Those two things. He's really good at them. And so anyway, check him
You
out.
know, I was coming here to give you guys some value, but you just gave me value. I'm like, after this call, I'm gonna go take a look at this guy and figure out what he's doing and how I can use it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. His recent stuff is really good, but he got a YouTube like manager guy, and they started making shorter videos that are more, they're not clickbaity, but they're gaming the algorithm, right? If you go back probably a year ago, year and a half ago, his longer videos, like there's specifically one that's like how I went from $0 to uh 44 million or 100 million in 44 months. It's something like that. And it's like an hour and 26 minutes. Watch that video. It is so so good. It's so good. But anyway, alas. Yes, where were we? So that's marketing. That's marketing skills. Public speaking skills. It looks like you're killing it. It looks like you are doing the
I,
public speaking
I'm
regularly.
improving it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have any tips for public speaking other than maybe start a podcast if you really want to. But that's not really. It's like
It
sometimes people
helps,
will recommend it, but
but you know, I ran a podcast about 5 years ago, and I will tell you, it did not help me get my public speaking
yeah.
better. It actually discouraged me because I would listen to my episodes while I was editing them and go, man, I was not a good speaker. All these ums and ahs and you knows.
Yep.
So yeah, I actually joined a speaking organization that's helped me improve. I think it's done a good job. So
There we go.
well,
There we go. Happy. I'm happy for you, man. What organization was that?
Toastmasters,
Yep. Toastmasters will do it for you.
it
And
does.
is that
They,
a
they,
weekly thing or a monthly thing or
the club in my area is a weekly thing. Different clubs meet different times. Some are weekly, some are bi-weekly, some are once a month. It all depends on the members and what their availability um, can be.
yeah, I gotcha. And so what are the highest impact daily actions that are going to tick the needle forward towards your dreams and goals for you?
I would say, you know, finding these videos or content to watch and consume and start understanding marketing on a better level. One of the things I did, for the speaking side we just mentioned was Toastmasters. I started going to Toastmasters, practicing my speeches more regularly rather than, hey, I'm just going to go out and give a speech and flub it. I started going, okay, I have to practice that speech on a regular basis. I have to give it multiple times. I have to, refine it. So it was, you know, speaking to myself the speech multiple times throughout the week.
Yeah.
Um, and doing things like that where it's that practicing that skill that I want to do. Marketing, it's seeking out these like I said, mentors that will help me step through the actions I don't know. And you've watched these videos of Alex's, and by doing that daily, you've increased your marketing skills. So that's something I need to do. That's something that will help me is watching some videos, taking the steps that are mentioned in the videos and actually applying those.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I'll say the number one thing Alex said to do was get your offer right, get your market right, and get your offer right, and then just spend X amount of all of your extra income that you have per month marketing. Just throw it into ads and like either marketing or pay somebody to teach you how to market. But he was specifically, so he came up in 2013, 2014, and that's when Facebook ads wasn't quite as competitive. However, Facebook ads still work. Facebook is still a good company. Um, and so the leads might be a little bit higher in costs, but then you just price your offer higher and provide value equivalent to that, right? And so I guess my question for you is, what is your current coaching offer right now? Is it consistent? Is it more a one-on-one thing and it varies based on your client?
Yeah, so I've actually got 3 offers. Let me pull it up real quick. I
Okay.
like to do, I like to have the specific offer because sometimes it's hard to recall.
Yeah.
So I do 3 things really well. Um, I've been in youth ministry as well. So I do youth leadership coaching and helping youth pastors, youth leaders grow their ministry.
That's really
That's
cool.
one of the offers. The other is building your platform, whether it's a blog, podcast. I said I'm not that great at marketing myself, but I've built a decent platform. I've got tens of thousands of email subscribers. I've got, you know, almost 50 to 75,000 visitors to my blog a month. And
That's solid.
people would love to have that. So I can help other people do that. And that's one of the offers. And then the other one is developing yourself and your leadership skills through the movies that we all watch.
Yeah, I feel that. And which one is the highest ticket?
I actually charge the same for each one of those.
There we go. Are they like continual monthly subscription things or a one-time 5-week, 10-week?
So there's three packages that I offer. The first is like a one-time boost where, hey, I just need some inspiration, I need some help, and I give them a 1 hour coaching session, and that's $150 offer.
Okay.
There's a 4-week accelerator where you get 4 1 hour calls or online meetings with me and unlimited email access. You define your problem, I help you work through it, and we get it taken care of in a month. And then there's like the ultimate transform your leadership year-long coaching package. And I dive deep into your problem. I put together a specified program coaching package for you and design it specifically around your needs and your desires to transform your leadership.
I got you. I got you. And so the year-long one is obviously the highest ticket one. Are you
Yes.
comfortable sharing the price, or are you like, I'd rather not disclose?
That run, that's about a $5,000 package.
Okay. There we go. There we go. So $5,000 for a year, which is what, 600 a month?
Yeah. 400 a month, right? 400 times
Yes.
12, 4,800. So
Yes. 600 would be 72, I think. All right, 400 a month. I got you. I got you. And who is like highest ticket? You're transforming their leadership. Year long, 400 a month. Who is the target audience? Is it any of those three that you talked about earlier? Either your blog, a youth leader, or growing your platform, youth leader, or growing leadership through movies?
yeah, so all three of those, I can craft that package around any one of those people.
Okay, which one of those people has the most money and the most pain?
Probably the person that's already in business leadership. Church leaders. So depending on if you're in a mega church or not.
Yeah.
A lot of churches don't have that budget for leadership development.
Yeah.
I love churches, but I know that churches are like, like we need to do good with this money, and they forget that they can do good by building up their people.
Yeah.
People building their platform, if they're just starting out, it's not right there for them yet. It's more that business leader that's looking to take their leadership to that next level and transform it.
I got you. I got you. So if we had to pick one who could be our best client for our highest ticket offer, it would be the dude who's in business leadership, probably has a semi-established company, and they're looking to invest in the people they have and develop talent to grow their business.
Yes, that's pretty much exactly it.
I gotcha. And so what are their biggest pain points? Is it they're not aligned with their staff, they can't hold their staff accountable, lack of engagement at work? What are some of their pain points?
Yeah, so you mentioned a few of them. It's engagement, it's that alignment, it's it's chasing that shiny object too. I don't know if you've encountered that leader that's like, that's new and shiny, I want to chase after that leadership idea.
Yeah.
So it's helping them control their impulses and not chase that shiny object. It's learning how to treat their employees with respect. I've been in a situation where I watched the owner of a company just blast an employee. It broke my heart because he blasted him from the owner's room back to the production floor.
Mhm.
And come to find out, he was wrong. But the
Yeah.
person that had been called out had actually shipped the product. It had been received by the company, and that company had misplaced it, but the owner didn't want to believe the employee.
Mm,
So it's learning how to I want to help leaders learn how to control their emotions too, how to treat their employees with respect and the dignity that they deserve, and how all of that too brings about the alignment that will propel the company forward.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Okay. So we got some of their pain points down. We got where you want to take them. So it's like take the lack of engagement leader, uh, the leader that has employees who lack engagement, the leader who has the shiny object syndrome, and you're taking them to a leader that treats their employees with respect, helps them be engaged, and then yeah, just knows how to treat their employees well and run a ship towards a vision. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Joseph, my next question is if you were to 10x your price, take it from 5,000 a year to 50,000 a year, which business would you go after to sell that product to, and what would you add to your offer to make it worth $50,000?
Man, you're making me think here.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm prepared for this one. What company would I go after?
I mean, you can start with like revenue if you don't know a type of company. Like, how much revenue would that company have to have? What type of, how many employees would they have? Just some of those demographics. And you could ballpark. You didn't come prepared with these answers, so.
I'd say probably a $75 million a year company. Um, I like to work with small companies, and I like to see small companies that are able to actually produce.
Uh
I would say probably 100 to 150 employees.
Okay.
Um, not necessarily all, like front office, you know, on the front line. Some of them, it may be a manufacturing company. It may be, what would be a really cool company to do would be some kind of movie industry company, and show them how their movies can help them actually improve their profits and their bottom line.
Okay. There we go. I like that. I like that. So $75 million in revenue, 100 to 150 employees, and right now the niche is kind of like movie production companies.
That, that's what you're making me think of, because
I'm not making you think of anything. That's coming from your own brain.
the questions that you're asking are pulling this out and like making me think, but like that'd be kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, it is. Well, that's cool, man. That's really cool. And what would you have to add to the package to make them pay, to make them feel okay? Let me rephrase this. How could you structure the offer so well that they would feel stupid saying no to it? And it's $50,000. What value would you have to add? What guarantees would you have to bring? And what would the hooks be? How would you engage them? Like, what would that offer have to look like?
You got me stumped there now. That's something I'm gonna have to think on.
Hey, there we go.
Now you've given me two that you brought value to me twice today on this call. Now I feel bad. I feel like I'm not bringing as much to you, your audience. You're bringing it to me.
No, man, no, you're all good. I mean, that's what the show is here for, man. I want to bring people on to make them think, help them towards their dreams and goals. And if this has helped you in any way, then I am happy. Well, cool, man. You can think on that. Get back to me within the week of what your offer is going to look like.
Yeah, let me do that.
Bet. All right. What character trait do you most need to develop right now to make your dream life come true?
I'm pretty good on like consistency when I think about the stuff that I do every day. But I think I don't focus, and I think I need focus so I can focus on the things that really matter,
Mm,
that like actually drive the business forward.
yeah, I feel it.
Creating, focusing enough to like create that offer that entices people to spend $50,000.
Yeah.
Um, Focus to get to work on, detailing out that specific customer that I want, that business. Not now I've kind of, percolating in my mind, like how can I focus, what do I need to do to like reach out to these movie industry organizations that might need my service.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that focus to just drill down and get these tasks done that I'm not good at, or finding, focusing on finding talent that can help me do that.
Yeah. 100%. Focus. And if there were one or two people you could meet right now, this could be a specific person or a type of person, and they'd really help you take that next step toward your dreams and goals. Who would they be, and how would they help you?
So I was thinking about this because you asked some of these questions in an email, and I'm going, man, what do I want to do? Like, how do I answer this?
Yeah.
And I'm going with not like a specific person, but a type of person.
Cool.
And I think it's someone that's like could hold me accountable to create that focus in my life. Um, so that would help me become laser focused and figure out exactly what I need rather than kind of just throwing things at the wall and seeing if they stick, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I gotcha. So somebody who could hold you accountable to creating that focus in your life. Just curious, if you were coaching yourself and you had to create that focus in your life, what questions would you ask yourself and what would you tell yourself to do?
I asked myself, what what three items do I need to focus on next that would create the stepping stones to grow the business? And then what would what would my answer to that be? Getting a marketing expert on my team.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, Focus on building connections in the businesses that I want to reach out to. Oh, and probably just to do it because like there's that limiting, nagging belief in my mind that while I've seen success, that like I'm not good enough to do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
like who would ever pay me $50,000 to work with me?
I gotcha. Well, man, that's a great segue into our final series of questions, which is all about limiting beliefs. So you already answered the first question, that limiting belief that continues to pop up in your life. I'm not good enough to do this. And specifically, who's going to pay me 50K to work with me? Where does that come from?
I've tried to think about it, like where does it come from? There's been times in my life where I've been told that I'm not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it was on the playground in little little league softball or baseball. It was a funny experience for me because I just got benched for my whole little league career because I wasn't good,
Yeah.
and like the coach wouldn't work with me, and so I'm like, I'm not like, what am I good at? And it goes, you're not good at this. And so I hit that stumbling block of coming back to these times in my life where I wasn't good enough at something, and I stumbled and I fell and I didn't improve. But then again, I know it's a lie
Yeah.
because I've seen the good stuff that I've done. I'm like I've said, I'm reaching a large audience with my blog every month. Uh, you know, I've got these connections, but I've got to keep reinforcing that I am good enough and I deserve what I actually earn.
Mm. Yeah. I feel that. And how do you reinforce that? What are the ways in life?
It, that was one of the questions he asked you, and I'm like, I'm answering it in my head, and I was like, I'm not sure. Um, but I, that answer isn't correct. Because one of the things that I do to like reinforce that I'm actually better than I think I am is I keep uh, a thank you journal or a thank you email folder of people that have said, thank you for what you're doing. This is how it's impacting me. This is how it's growing me. So I go back to those emails and those letters and those recordings that tell me, hey, I'm making a difference. I'm not worthless, that I am, that I'm doing something important.
Yeah, there we go. So keep that thank you email folder and go back to them.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Back to the limiting beliefs for a little bit. Do you have any limiting actions that reinforce your limiting beliefs?
Can you explain what a limiting action is? Is that something that like I do that prevents me from taking that next step, or
It's like, so how I kind of like to see life in general is that you have your beliefs, and your beliefs fuel your thoughts, and your thoughts fuel your feelings, and your feelings fuel your actions, and your actions fuel your results, and these results reinforce these beliefs. And so a limiting action is an action that comes from a limiting belief. So a limiting belief produces a thought, which produces a feeling, which causes you to act.
yeah? So I would, well, I don't know if it would be an action, but a limiting inaction.
Yeah, there we go.
I one of the things I don't do, so I don't take that step to reach out to some to organizations that I think would find value in what I do. I
Hmm.
do the easy thing. I just go, okay, I'm going to put it out there on my website. I'm going to mention it in my email newsletter. But I'm not going to go to company ABC and say, hey, here's what I offer,
Yeah,
because it scares me. And that thought of rejection that's happened before fills my mind, that it makes me inactive or take an action of not reaching out.
yeah, I gotcha. Well, there we go. If you were to change the limiting belief that I'm not good enough, the who's gonna pay me 50K to work with me, if you were to change that into an abundant phrase that really spoke to your heart in the way that you needed to hear it, what would that phrase be?
I think it would be, you were created for bigger things.
Mm, I like that. You were created for bigger things.
I mean, when you think about it, I think we were all created for something bigger than we're actually going for right now.
I agree.
And if I think that I was created for something bigger, and go, yeah, I'm created for something bigger than that $150 one-time coaching session.
Yeah,
I'm bigger. I was created for something more or bigger than that once a month coaching, or even that once, that year coaching session. Um, so yeah, I was created for something bigger.
yeah. I love it, man. We got one last question for you. Ready?
All right.
What is your favorite belief about yourself?
That's my favorite belief about myself. Ooh. Um, that I can do hard things.
Mm,
I've mentioned that I'm a runner. I've done a half marathon. I've done a 15 and a half mile race. I've done a full marathon. You know, I've been married for almost 20 years. And
yeah,
while the marriage is good, marriage is hard. And I can do hard things and make it through to the other side.
yeah. Absolutely,
So,
man.
so I can do the hard thing of creating this offer that you've talked about. And I can do hard things like create a $50,000 offer.
Yeah, I love it. I'm excited to see your $50,000 offer.
I'm excited as well. I'll be honest, I'm scared to death to think and try and create it, but I can do it because I can do hard things.
Yeah, there we go. Well, awesome, Joseph. That's all we got for you, man.
It's been good, man. Thank you for like I said, I was coming here to bring you guys some value, but you gave me some value and you gave me some things to think about. And I hope that also, on top of what I've offered, I hope that offers your audience something too, because they can see that, hey, the people that you bring on your show, they're still growing themselves.
As we all are, as we all are. I'm,
Yeah.
what am I, 550 podcast episodes in and still growing.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's epic. It's an epic journey, and I like inviting people into the authenticity of how messy it can look sometimes.
Yeah.
So there we go. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Of course. And if you guys are listening to this and you loved what Joseph had to say, any movie production companies that happen to be doing that 75 million in revenue, send them to Joseph in the next week because he'll have his $50,000 offer ready for him. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you on the next one. All the ways to contact Joseph will be down in the show notes. And on that note, we're out.